You guys like my hoodie? Found it at Goodwill for $8.
Welcome back to And Sometimes Why, and today I want to talk about EPA and shot quality.
If you like that intro, don't forget to like and subscribe. I put a lot of work into that intro. It took almost a minute of filming that I'll never get back in my life. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new, and enjoy the video.
I don't mean the Environmental Protection Agency, and I don't mean quality of your shot. I mean expected points added in football and shot quality in basketball. Core of both of these ideas is probability and an expected value. So, an expected value, you guys get probability, right? The chance that something happens, in a sense. An expected value is what happens when you assign a value to that probability. I'm going to do a very small example with you guys about flipping a coin. If I flip the coin and it lands on heads, I get 1 point. If I flip the coin and it lands on tails, I get 0 points. Everyone knows when I flip a coin, it's 50-50, whatever side it lands on. So the probability that I get heads is 50% on every turn. I am going to flip this coin 4 times. What would the expected value be for me flipping the coin 4 times? An expected value, in a sense, is the sum of each event and the probability that it happens. So on each turn, there is a 50% chance that I get a value of 1 and a 50% chance that I get a value of 0. Each turn, the expected value is 1/2. So do that over 4 turns, the expected value is 2. Now we can go into EPA and shot quality. Let's do EPA first. But wait, before we go into EPA, you have to get expected points. Expected points is a calculation that's made based on where you are on the field, how much time is left, what down is it, how many yards to go do you have, things like that. Now, if you remember my example of 2 events was either heads or tails, in the NFL, there is a touchdown, there's a field goal, technically there's a chance for you getting a safety, and there's a chance that you punt, there's a chance that you throw an interception, there's a chance that you fumble. In a sense, expected points is adding up the probabilities of all of those things happening along with the values of points that they give, and it's assigning an expected point value for where you are before a play starts. Now, expected points added, if we add on to that, will be what the expected points is after the play. It's important to note that this can be negative, right? You could throw an interception, you could fumble, you could get sacked, you could get tackled for loss on a run play. It could be 3rd and 7, 3rd and 2, and you get sacked. You're probably going to lose a lot of expected points based on where you were in that situation. So EPA can be, if you score a touchdown, obviously, awesome. If you complete a 50-yard pass from your own 25 to the opposing team's 25, I imagine EPA would go up a lot. I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but the main idea is it's not telling you what is going to happen, but it's telling you what should happen, what will happen over a large sample size. You might see a lot of people talking about EPA per play, especially with quarterbacks. And the one thing I will say is it's kind of difficult to assign credit for each individual player for how much they contributed to the EPA on a given play. I mean, quarterbacks, they touch the ball every play. So it's easy to assign most of the credit to them. Other positions is where it gets a little bit more difficult. But it basically will tell you for a quarterback their EPA per play for the most part, or even just a specific offense. Are they putting themselves in advantageous situations more often than not? You could have, like I said in my previous example, you could throw a 50-yard bomb to the 25 and then fumble on the next play because sometimes that's just what happens. But over time, the more times you throw 50-yard bombs, more often than not, you're going to get points out of that drive. Now let's do shot quality. It's not the exact same framework, but it basically goes off of the probability that a shot's going in and then assigning the point value to that. Because in basketball, a shot can be worth 2 points or 3 points, or you can get fouled. And shot quality, at least now, it takes into account basically as much as you want it to. It can take into account where you are on the court, if you're moving or not. Are you open? How open are you? How far is the nearest defender? Who are you? Who am I? If I am taking the shot, or Steph Curry is taking the shot quality is going to be different on a wide open three. Obviously, mine would be better. But if it was somebody like you, the shot quality might be a little bit worse. Yes, I'm talking to you watching this video. So, shot quality also assigns value to the points. So, if it's a 3-point shot, the shot quality is going to be worth more if it's the same probability as a 2-point shot going in. Similar to what we talked about with effective field goal percentage in the last video. You might say to me, both of these things, it's not telling you what actually happens. What actually happens is what matters because that decides whether or not you win the game. And I would tell you, you're right. But if you follow my TikTok and you remember splitting aces, having a higher EPA or having a higher shot quality is the same thing as splitting aces. You are putting yourself in advantageous situations more consistently if you have a higher EPA per play, if you have a higher shot quality. But sometimes hitch happens. And oops, you missed a wide open three. Oops, I dropped the ball and now the other team's running it back for a touchdown. Sometimes the ball just bounces the other way, especially a football, which is meant to not bounce in a good way. Or basketball, it bounces the wrong way, you don't get the offensive rebound. The other team does. Sometimes luck takes control. But when you put yourself in more advantageous situations more consistently than other teams, you allow yourself to be on the right side of luck more often. If you don't follow my TikTok, I talked about a conversation that I had with Shane Battier about a month ago at a sports analytics conference where I asked him how analytics clicked to him while he was playing in the NBA. And what he told me is that he was told to play basketball the same way he plays blackjack. and he gave me the example of getting two aces and splitting them. Now, you can't control your EPA or your shot quality to an extent, but you can constantly execute and put yourself in advantageous situations. Just like when you split the aces, you can't control what card comes next. You can't control whether the shot goes in. You can't control whether your receiver catches your wide open pass. But they will catch it more often than not if they're wide open versus if they're smothered. And your shot will go in more often than not if you're wide open, especially if you're me, versus if you're covered. I mean, I would make it regardless, but for most people, that's just not realistic. But the main point of this video is it doesn't tell you what is going to happen, but some things like EPA and shot quality can tell you how consistently you are putting yourself in an advantageous situation as a team or as a player. This isn't sometimes why, and I hope you guys learned something today. See ya.